What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to NSP Niner Talk. Coming off a fresh dub, beating out the Carolina Panthers. As we predicted, we did very well. Our defense looks superb. Offense looks great. Jimmy G still hasn't thrown a pick, so we're looking good. We're looking good so far, but we get another win at what cost? Again, it's kind of like after after every game of the season so far, at what cost are we completing these games on? We've been having injuries after injuries, whether it be Trey Lance, Elijah Mitchell, Trent Williams, and the list goes on and on. And after this win, uh, it happened again. It happened again. We lost Emmanuel Mosley, one of our star corners, and he's been looking good, man. And it sucks because he tore his ACL. He's out for the season, and it was his contract year. It was his contract year, so it's very unfortunate that he's losing out on that money. More than likely, we'll probably sign him to a prove it year deal, and it's just unfair for him. He's been playing lights out. He puts his body on the line. Clearly, has shown this past game. Another person too. I mean, we lost Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is dealing with a groin injury. Didn't look as serious. It's not season ending, but he's day to day. He didn't participate in practice on Wednesday, but clear for reasons. They want him to get 100% healthy. But do you want to start Nick Bosa uh, when it comes to playing against the Falcons? I mean, not dishing out anything against the Falcons, but let's revert back to the title of the video. It's the 49ers next man up. So we've been dealing with this all season long. Like I said before, Emmanuel Mosley, he's gone. We did get some good news. We did hear that Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett are on their way back. Verrett just got cleared to practice. So is Verrett going to start? I don't think he is. I think they're right to not start him against the Falcons. I think they should ease him back into the game and maybe get some limited snaps in the following week against Kansas City, but very limited snaps. Maybe get a few there in the first half, few there in the second half, and then get him ready for the Rams, unless you want to wait till after the bye week. But we should not rush, and I don't think we should press that panic button just yet. I think we are okay. We do have some young studs out there who are ready to step in. We have Deommodore Lenoir, who's been taking a lot of reps this season, who's been looking really good as well. I think we'll see a rotation with Deommodore Lenoir, Samuel Wambach, and also Ambry Thomas. Man, Ambry Thomas, he was our starting corner last year, and he started to look good. He started to look good. For some reason, he got passed up in the depth chart, and I mean, for what reason, I'm not too sure, but our defense has been lights out, so I'm not complaining. He is going to have a chance to go out there and shine again and prove why he can be a starting corner for this team. But we have so much talent on defense. I mean, as you guys can see, we are the best defense in the league. I'm excited about it, and I'm super excited going forward, and I'm still confident going forward, even without these players. So like I said, we have Demo is going to be switching out with Samuel Womack, and then Ambry Thomas. Samuel Womack is another young player that we have who's played very well in the preseason, which that's why I was kind of surprised when I saw Demo take over those reps over Womack. But now we're going to see all three of them, hopefully, against that rotation. Or we might see 27 out there, which I really hope we don't. I have too many bad experiences with him, but he is a vet with the 49ers, and they do trust him. And why not? If it's the best we got, it's the best we got. We got to put him out there. Now let's move into our defensive line. Our defensive line, we've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Nick Bosa just went down with a groin injury. Fortunately enough for us, is I don't think it's serious. He didn't play the rest of the Panthers game, and he is questionable for the Falcons game. If I was a GM, if I was John Lynch, if I was Kyle Shanahan, I would totally sit him out for this Falcon game and get him ready for the Chiefs or get him ready for the Rams, especially the Rams. I have my priority list on the Rams over the Chiefs. I know all your Niners fans out there, including myself, I hate the Chiefs, can't stand them, want to beat them, want to put them in their place. But when you look at schedule wise and getting to the playoffs, that is one of the least focused game that we or yeah least important game that we should be focused on, just because it doesn't mean much. I mean, they are in the AFC. We got to save our talent like Jason Verrett and Nick Bosa for teams like the Rams, who we're facing immediately after the Chiefs. And more injuries are going to happen. It's going to happen. It's part of the game, and it sucks to say, but it's part of the 49ers way. We suffered through so many injuries, but we got to focus on divisional rivals and the NFC. So as far as saving our best for Kansas City, that's not my thing. I want to save our best for the Rams going forward. But it's not only Nick Bosa. As y'all saw, Javon Kinlaw didn't play out there, so that was another huge hit. So we had Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead dealing with the injuries, Samson Ibukum. He didn't participate in practice, so we have a lot of injuries there on our line. But it doesn't look too bad because I mean, our backups are Drake Jackson, Kevin Givens, Ridgeway, Charles Omenihu, Kerry Hyder Jr. Those are good guys, and honestly, that backup defensive front will outplay almost 50% of the defensive fronts right now in the NFL, which I'm proud to say that we got a great defense, which they could more and hold their own. It just won't be as elite as it will when we had Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw all out there. So I wouldn't be worried too much, especially going into this week as the Falcons, not putting any bash on the Falcons. And I'm not saying that this should be a blowout game either. And I would like for it to be a blowout game. And I think there's a chance for it to be a blowout game. But when you look at the history with the Falcons, they got that dog in them. They put that fight out there. If you look at their first 5 games, I mean, they lost to the Saints under 5 points. They lost to the Rams under 5 points. They beat the Seattle under 5 points. They beat Browns within 5 points, and then they lost to the Buccaneers. That was 6 points, but it's all under a touchdown. So they're putting up a fight, whether you like it or not. Now, as far as their injury list, the most important guy that I see on there is Cal Pitts. As we saw against the Rams, they like to use Higbee, they like to use Cup, and honestly, the yards after catch for those guys, it wasn't much, but they found ways to get those guys open. So we're going to be dealing with Drake London. We're going to be dealing with Cal Pitts. Hopefully not Cal Pitts. So if he's injured, it's going to be a huge plus for us. And not wishing injury upon anyone, but just to better our chances. Not saying that we need better chances, but we're going to look good. My main focus on this game is Jimmy G. I want to focus on Jimmy G because in the past 2 games, he has not thrown an interception. I don't know why, but it kind of scares me that he hasn't done so because if you guys know our track record, Jimmy G has a great first half and a horrible second half, and then vice versa, or a great game and then a horrible game. So I feel like that game is coming by. I know we had a horrible game against the Broncos, but these past 2 games, he's been playing decently well. Our offensive line has been doing their job, even though as banged up as they are, they've been doing their job with Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle helping out and making those blocking schemes possible for our run game. And speaking of our run game, Jeff Wilson Jr., you can't be disappointed in that guy. That he has been balling out. He's been putting up some numbers, especially for fantasy football. Last week was kind of weird because we did see Tevin Coleman come back, second time with the Niners, third time with Kyle Shanahan. Freaking awesome. He looked like he just put on an old catcher's mitt, started playing ball out there. It was like riding a bike for him. He looked great. I don't think we're going to be utilizing him a lot more in the future, but I can see why they were utilizing him towards the end of the game. We already dealt with some injuries with Emmanuel Mosley and Nick Bosa. We don't want to get Jeff Wilson Jr. in there, especially with how thin our running back core is. But speaking of running back core, Elijah Mitchell still on IR, so he's gonna more than likely be back after the bye week. So after the Rams game, wait 1 more week, he'll be back. But someone who just got cleared of practice, who was actually limited in practice, was TDP. Davis Price, man, I'm excited to see him back. He's a young rookie. He was very explosive, speedster type of guy, and he looked good out there with the Niners. So what I think he's gonna play, I kind of hope so. But I don't want to rush into that. Same scenario with Nick Bosa, same scenario with Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead, with all those guys. Don't rush these guys back. Jason Verrett, I mean, as well to put in there, but don't rush these guys. Have them wait. Get them 100% healthy, and let's start fresh again. Okay, let's revamp, get our players back, because we're sitting in first place. We're sitting in first place in our division. You don't know how good it is to say that where we are a game ahead of the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks, and we are 2 divisional game aheads uh, from them. So it is awesome. So hopefully we'll keep that trend going. That's another reason why I'm saying it's really important that we beat out teams like the Rams over the Kansas City Chiefs. And trust me, I would surely enjoy beating the Chiefs. And I do think we could win that game. It is a good matchup for us. But I really want to focus on this Falcons game. I think it's a very favorable matchup towards us. They're not very good against the pass, against the wide receivers. So can Jimmy G take advantage of that? Can Debo Samuel take advantage of those yak yards? Or as we saw last week, can we continue to get Brandon Ayuk more involved? We saw that was a huge game changer. We saw him a lot on second downs. I mean, as soon as he got the ball in his hands, he was ready to go. This is a contract year for him, so I expect to see more of that. And I hope to see him as a Niner forever. I love Brandon Ayuk, and I think he does great things. And Jawan Jennings, too. Third down machine, is he not? I mean, third downs, you got to go to Jawan Jennings. That used to be Kittle's role, but now with a banged up line, you got Kittle blocking out, which I'm not complaining about. As long as we win games, that's the important part. But we got to keep these injuries to a minimum. That's what hurts the Niners are injuries. I don't want to come out of the Falcons game saying, "Oh, we won the game," but again, at what cost? So besides Jimmy G not messing up, another thing I want to see is us trying to keep ourselves healthy. We got to keep ourselves healthy. We got to see guys coming back. I want to see Javon Kinlaw back there. Have we seen Javon Kinlaw, Armstead, and Bosa out there all at the same time? I feel like that got taken away from us. Same thing with Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, and Jason Rhett all being out there in defense. That got taken away from us as well. It's very unfortunate news, but hopefully we'll keep on going and remain the top defense of the league. Like I said, even with these guys filling in these spots, we are a force to be reckoned with. These guys are strong, ready to go. 24-11. That's my final score. I think we're going to stop them. Defense is just legit as can be. And until next time, faithful, keep on grinding.